Welcome back. Let's now discuss modules and packages. A module is a file that can be imported under one single import command, such as import space and then the name of the module. In this example, we called it my_module. So that's a single my_module.py file that's somewhere next to your script. A package is a collection of modules in directories that give a package hierarchy. So that would look something like from my package dot some other file, import some function from that file. To install publicly available modules or libraries, you can use the pip install system. At your command line, you can type pip install and then the name of the library you're trying to install. And this will install the library requested as long as you have an internet connection and don't have a firewall blocking the connection. This is operated using the PyPI system, or PyPI. So that pip install is basically going to connect to the internet and download the package to your computer. We've already imported some built-in modules and packages such as the random library. Let's now explore how we can format files to create our own modules. To do this, we're going to switch over to using a text editor to create a .py script instead of using a notebook. Let's get started. Alright, here I've opened up the Sublime text editor and I've opened up two untitled files. Let me save these files. The first one I'm going to save as my module.py and make sure you have this all files extension selected. Otherwise you may accidentally save it as my module.py.text and then click save. So now this is a .py script, meaning I should expect to see some syntax highlighting if I begin to say print hello. So that looks like it's working. And the next one I'm going to save as my program.py. So let's do that as well. We will say save as, and we will say my program.py, and then hit enter to save that. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a module, which is essentially just another .py script in the same directory as this my program.py, and we're going to create a function in it and show you the different ways you could import it in your program. So first select my module.py, and let's create a function in it. We will say def, and we'll say func in my module, and it's just going to be a very simple function. All it's going to do is say print, I am a function inside of my module.py. Make sure you save that. Now let's explore importing my module in this other file, my program.py. And the way we can do this is we can say import my module, and then we will say my module dot, and we should be able to call that function itself. We will say my module dot func, and let's recall what it was describing as func in my module. So let's write that as well. Func in my module, open close parentheses. I'm going to now save this, and let's run this script at the command line and see what the result is. I will now cd or change directory to where I saved these files, which was under my documents folder, and then cd into a Python scripts folder. And this is where I saved this file. So now let's say Python and say my program.py, hit enter. And now I see I am a function inside my module.py. So note how from inside my program.py, I was able to successfully import my module and then run that function. So that's one way you can actually import a module. Now notice here, we're importing the module and then calling specific functions off of it. If my module is a really long name, what you can do is say import my module as, and then have some sort of alias for it, such as mm. And you'll see this commonly used with other modules. They usually have some sort of convention as a shortened form. That way you don't need to write my module all the time. Instead, we can just write mm dot and then the name of the function you want to call off of it. And if you save this and run it, it'll bring back the exact same result. Again, this is using an alias for this name. So you say import the name of the module as, and then the name you want to import it as. Now let's imagine that you only actually wanted to use one function from this my module. So if this my_module.py script had hundreds of functions in it, and we only really needed to use one of them, instead of importing the entire library as something, what we can do is the following syntax. We can say from my module import, and then the specific name of the function you want to import. We can say func in my module. And if you have multiple imports, you can just separate them out by commas. So this could be another func, and then, function number 3, etc. But since we only have one function, we'll just say from my module, import function module, and when you want to use it somewhere in your script, all you have to do is call your function module as such. So this allows you to not even worry about having to write my module or as an alias, because you've only imported the functions that you intend to use. And you can see here, it's telling you it's coming from my module.py. That's it for the basics of modules of Python. As you get more interested in coding and your scripts get larger and larger, you're going to be able to separate your code into multiple .py scripts, and that will help you compartmentalize the actual sections of code for different functionality, as well as just keep clean, organized sections that are easier to read. Instead of having one giant thousands of line files, you can have several files that have those lines separated out. Excellent work so far. We'll see you at the next lesson.